Hey guys, so in today's podcast, we talk about school because what else would you talk about on a Sunday afternoon? That's exactly how I spend my time. We love education. Okay, this is really annoying, but I share some stories from my first week of my senior year of high school, and then some. I also share a pretty traumatic story from my freshman year and just some weird stuff that has happened in between. So here's the tea on what's been happening at school because, I live an interesting life. There's literally no point to this podcast. I literally just tell stories the whole time. Like, there's no deeper message or meaning. I kind of start talking about, stuff I'm sort of worried about. But honestly, at this point, it's just, weird stuff that happens at school. Nothing dramatic, important has actually happened. It's just weird stuff so far. So, enjoy the storytelling podcast. Fun fact, I'm actually recording this intro at 1 a.m. because I all of a sudden have energy. Literally had no energy the entire day. And now that it's 1 a.m., I have energy. So, we love a good sleep schedule. But this intro was actually so long, so enjoy the podcast. Hey guys, so welcome back to the podcast. So today I want to talk about school. Riveting stuff. We're going to talk about school. I want to talk about my first week of school this year. So this is my first week of senior year, and I just wanted to talk about it because, school's interesting, especially high school. Weird things happen at my high school, and it's just, become normal for all of us. But anyways, we're going to start complaining about children because, that's great podcast content. I literally don't really have, a deeper meaning, or a deeper, topic I actually want to get into. My only plan was I'm gonna talk about school and just see what happens. So here we go. So, first, before I talk about my first week of school, I want to talk about something that happened to me today. So I just concluded my second week of school. So the day I'm recording this, it's a Friday. And today, so at lunch, my school, our lunch shifts, we have 4 lunch shifts and they're each 30 minutes. So we don't have a full hour lunch. It's this 30-minute lunch shifts. So I don't know. For lunch, I really like being alone. This may sound terrible. I sit next to a group of people that I like, and I don't really know them super duper well. I'm not super duper close to them, but I like them. And I don't know, so I sit next to this group of people, but, a lot of the times I'm just kind of quiet just because, I don't know, I talk to people all day. I mean, not really, but, I feel like lunch is, a 30 minutes where I, just can think, which sounds weird because it's, a loud room of screaming children. Anyways, point is, I like being alone, so I was, looking, so I was sitting with this group of people, and I was on my phone because I was looking up something, I don't remember, but, I was trying to send an email, so I was trying to send this email, and these, obnoxious group of freshmen, which, if you're a freshman, no shade. There are good freshmen, and then there's, the type, the annoying type, the stereotypical type that everyone else hates, So, it's, the attention-seeking, think they're cool freshmen, that kind of group. It's usually, a bunch of, douchebaggy guys, but, wannabe douchebag, you know the type. I hope you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so a group of these, wannabe, cool freshmen come sit next to me because they're oh, she looks alone. Literally, I could hear them. I was sitting, I was, at the end of a table. I don't know how to explain. A cafeteria lunch table, where it folds up. I was, at one of the ends. And then the group of people that I was sitting with was kind of, around, in between 2 sections of, the table. I don't know how to explain that, but so it kind of looked like I was alone, but I also really wasn't because I was turning around and saying, things here and there. Anyways, if you can hear my nephew in the back, he's babbling, so that's what that is. So this group of freshmen, literally right next to me, 5 feet away from me, were oh, this girl looks lonely, let's go sit next to her, but in an annoying way, not a genuine way, I hope you guys understand, like, you know the type of just annoying, attention-seeking people that I'm talking about. So they say this, like, sort of condescendingly, and they're like, oh, who are you? What's your name? Can we sit here? And, like, it was just annoying, and I just didn't want to talk to them, because I was clearly on my phone, and I was clearly not trying to socialize with you. Like, I could hear you talking about me 3 feet away from me. What, like, why are you doing this? And so they come sit next to me, and, like, because I'm like, oh, are these seats taken? So I was like, no. Because I don't know what else. I wasn't gonna lie being like, yeah, but like I didn't want them to sit there either because I was clearly kind of like busy and like not trying to pay attention or talk to them. And then so I kept being on my phone, and then they bought like their clique to come sit with me, or to come sit at this table, and I just felt really uncomfortable. I literally did not acknowledge them, so I don't know why they kept trying to talk to me. Like like they're like, oh, what's your name? What do you like to do? What grade are you in? I was like, I just wasn't talking to them because I was like, can you please mind your own business? Thanks. It sounds like really terrible. It makes me sound terrible, but like honestly, like I didn't want to talk to them. They're saying it in such like a condescending, you know, like way. They were like this annoying group of freshmen. It's like I don't want to talk to you. And this is not the first time they talked to my group of friends that I sit at lunch. Like it'd be different, like if it was like maybe a genuine like group of people, but no, it was like an annoying group of freshman dudes who were like, you know, annoying. And so yeah, literally like the last time at lunch they said something really dumb to our group, so like it's not like the first time they like come up to people and like say dumb things, you know, like they're just like that. So I kind of ignored them, kind of passive aggressive, but I kind of don't care. I was literally like, can you please mind your own business? Thanks. And then they didn't, so yeah, I was left talking to them, and like I whispered to my friend like at the other table, I was like, help me, because it was the situation. So anyways, that was my rant about what happened to me at school today. So I really hope they don't come back. Today's Friday, as I mentioned earlier. So in my school works, like we have A and B day. So we like, I've different classes on A days and different classes on B days, which also means I have different lunches both days. So I hope when I go back on Tuesday that they don't sit next to me again or do that, because I don't want to talk to them. So we'll see. Maybe I'll update you guys on that next podcast, possibly. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, so that, if that shows you how my school year is going, yeah, you can take that as it is. So I want to talk about my first week of school now. Nothing really like too crazy like happened in particular. Let me actually bring up my schedule so I can tell you guys. Well, I remember my first class. My first class is AP Lit, so AP Literature. And my AP Lit teacher is actually the same teacher who's a sponsor for one of the clubs I'm in. And I don't know if that's just like a good thing or a bad thing, because I don't know. I feel like you have, like, it's not that I don't like her as a person or like this teacher as a person, but like I feel like when you already know a teacher in advance, they already have like a certain image of you or a certain perspective of you. Like in this club, we like, the main thing is we edit videos. So I'm not saying that she just sees me as this like video editor, nothing else, but like she already has like a idea of who I am. And then you like being in her class, it's like, what if I don't like execute that same like the same way as I do in the club? I don't know if that makes sense. Like I don't perform as well, and not that like the teacher like cares. Like I know like me and logical Mackenzie like acknowledges that teachers are there to teach you and they're there to help you, and like not everyone's perfect at everything. But like I feel like weird. Oh my god, my nephew is like screaming. But I feel like since this person like already has an idea of who you are, it makes it different to like teach, because it's not like a clean slate. Like you kind of already know them. So it's like, what if I end up writing something, because you know it's a literature class, so we like do a lot of reading and writing. So like, what if I write something that's like super deep and then she never looks at me the same way? Which I know is like a dumb way to like look at it, and a dumb way like to think of it. It's like more of like the deeper parts of my mind, like the not the deeper, like it's not like a huge concern of mine, is what I'm going to say. It's kind of like pushed back in a, like a little corner of my mind. But it's still like a little thing that I was sort of worried about. I'm sort of kind of still am worried about, because, I don't know, like, it's just like leaving this little box of like this club where I'm really like good at this one thing, and then leaving that to like a classroom where you kind of get exposed through your reading and writing, because obviously your writing reflects who you are and your work reflects who you are, and I don't know, I just feel kind of like uncomfortable. I've already been for this class for 2 weeks, so like it really hasn't been that bad. I mean, we've been writing like a lot. Like, I think we've written they're mostly paragraphs when I say like what we've written so far, because it's been only 2 weeks of school. We've written like at least like three or four paragraphs already, at least, and that's not including the summer assignment where, you have to like talk about yourself, and I don't like talking about myself because it's like awkward. And yeah, I know how I literally said at the beginning of this podcast, I'm like, I have nothing deep I want to talk about. I'm literally just going to tell stories. And then I end up saying that. But, it does relate to school. So, maybe one of y'all can relate or not. Yeah. So that's AP Lit. And then she's also my my study hall teacher, the same teacher who's the sponsor of this club. Yeah, etc. So I like her as a person. It's just weird to like have her as like an instructor. It's just like, because I've never like known her on that level, and she's never known me on the level of a student, kind of. Hopefully this makes sense. Okay, we're gonna talk about other things now, other classes. I feel like this is gonna be, I'm gonna run out of things to talk about because I literally have like nothing planned. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna tell some stories from the first week of school. I'm gonna run out of stories, guaranteed. But, let's see, what else can I talk about? So I'm taking personal finance and economics this year, and I'm actually kind of excited because that class seems like it's actually going to be useful. Imagine that, guys, learning useful stuff in school. So, yeah, there's nothing happened in economics either. The classroom's freezing. That's all I have to say so far. Oh, but okay, so for economics, actually, or personal finance, they're like, it's kind of like a combined class. They're like semester courses. But there is like these online like modules we have to do, and it has this really annoying like stereotypical like upbeat YouTube music, where it's like really happy and like really preppy and really chirpy. So that's a thing. So yeah, anyways, that's probably dumb, but like, how like you just know the type, the stereotypical like da 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 da. It wasn't like that song specifically, but like like it's like the vibe of upbeat YouTube music. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's a thing. Also, I apologize if you can't hear my nephew. I have no idea if you can. I feel like because I'm recording this in real time, so I don't know what you can hear and what you can't. My mic's not the greatest. My mom's putting him down to sleep, so yep, that's a thing. Literally, they were downstairs, and I came up to record, and then they came upstairs. I'm like, all right, guys, thanks. Ruining my podcast. No, but I love my nephew. He's really cute. Anyways, so, a personal finance, econ, actual useful classes. So, that's good. I'm also taking a web design, web technology class, where we basically just, like, do graphic design, and it's, like, a lot of fun. Like, everything you do, every class is a different project. So like making a flyer, making a brochure, making like a print ad. That was like the thing I did today. And it's an enjoyable class. I really like it. It's like chill. Like literally we're just on computers all day, and that's basically what I do anyways. So design stuff on computers. So I took this what? Okay, I was about to say course and class at the same time, and it just came out like what? Yeah. So I'm really enjoying this course, and yeah, I like how I'm giving you like a review of my entire schedule. What's the story? Let's look at a class I actually have a fun story in. Oh, so I'm taking semester psychology also, and it's semester, so I'm only taking it for like the first like half of school, but it's really interesting so far. Like, psychology is probably one of the more interesting sciences I've ever taken, like most interesting science, honestly. Last year I took chemistry and did not like that at all. I don't care about bromine and uranium and what is it even called? What is that method called when you have like the train? It's like losing my mind. I was about to say something. I'm trying to like sound smart. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyways, point is, I don't like chemistry. But psych, I really enjoy psych. We're learning about like the different like parts of psychology and the different it's not parts, like it's different psychological like processes. So like there's like biological, there's like humanistic, socio-cultural, there's different types. So we've been learning about that, and I think it's really interesting. And like in class we're like actually talking about like a crime case, like popular crime cases, and we're pretending to be like psychologists and like analyze these people. I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I always have enjoyed like learning about how the mind works and stuff like that. So psychology has been fun for me. We're actually going to do a unit on dreams and like find out, what's wrong with all of us and different meanings in different dreams. And I'm really excited for that unit. So anyways, maybe I'll come back one day and tell you guys how messed up my thoughts are. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. What else? Oh, okay. I'm gonna get into another story. So, I have government this year also, which is another, like, I guess useful class. I just really hate, like, government. I don't know. Like, learning about government just makes me, like, hate, like, modern news even more. It's just, like, why are politicians like this? Like, why does, like, America suck, in some ways? But yeah, so basically every year at my school, if you do an academic government class, or at least in my experience, if you do an academic government or social studies class in general, you hear my voice like leaving me? Let me drink some water. Stay hydrated. Okay, there we go. I'm talking so fast. I'm saying so many words. And I don't even know what's coming out. And I'm just losing oxygen as I do this. Or saliva. Or whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about this. But government. So government's actually, like, kind of useful. I just don't like social science. I've just never really liked that. Like civics, government, I've just never been interested in that. But anyways, whenever you take an academic, like, history class in my school, you always get the people who never do anything. Like, at least in my experience. Like, I've never been in a class with people that are just, like, didn't want to do honors, but, like, aren't terrible, like, students either. By terrible students, I mean, like, people who, like, actually kind of care about their grades and actually kind of, like, care about, like, being at school and learning. But then there's those people, but in my experience, I've only had people who just, like, don't care about being there and literally never do their work and always get yelled at. So it makes life really difficult, especially when you have to do group projects. Like, I don't get why teachers still do group projects. I'm assigned for this group project. Oh my god, I have this group project that I have to do. And literally, the project is meant for a group of, like, 4 to 5. We have 3 people in our group. I'm one of them. I'm also the only one that, like, does anything. So I really don't want to do this huge group project. Like, literally, it's not even, like, a little project. Like, we have to, like, make a video. We have to make all these, like, graphics. We have to make all these, like, flyers. And, like, literally all this, like, technological and, like, design work, which I can do. But, like, when it's a group project and all these people get the same grade for stuff that I do, I just get really frustrated. I'm definitely that person in school where I hate when people copy off of me. I know some people hate these people, but, like, when I have a good idea, like, I have a good idea and I don't want you to take it, Like, I just don't want you copying off of me. I just don't do that. I don't like people stealing my ideas. That's that. So, yeah. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, so I'm doing this group project in government or I say group project in quotation marks, where I'm doing all the work, and I actually emailed my teacher to see if I can like change the group and maybe have some sort of thing where I'm not doing all the work, have some sort of process. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't want to explain the whole situation, but I just don't want to do this because I just can't, and I'm not trying to fail government, so, and I also am not going to get an A for 2 other people that don't do ish, so, you can't tell my frustration. That's the thing. Anyways, so that's government. Love that. I'm also a part of the yearbook this year, so I'm really excited for that. I do like the people in my class. It's very it's much like a graphic design / photography / journalism course. Technically on my schedule it's called photojournalism, but we work on the yearbook, and our yearbooks, we capture every event in our school. It's not just pictures of people in our school. The majority of the yearbook is the events that happened from the beginning of the year to the very end of the year. So we capture all of our clubs, all of our sports, all different types of activities and major events and pop culture and all these different things that occurred during that school year. So I'm really excited. I actually got my first spread the other day, and I got my group, which I really like. So I hope I like yearbook, because we basically just go out and take pictures, interview people, stuff like that. Oh, let me give you a fun fact. So freshman year, throwing it back, I'm a senior, by the way. Freshman year of high school, so when I was 14, literally just entering high school, I took journalism because, honestly, at the point, I didn't even know what journalism was, when I signed up for my classes for high school. I just knew how to do with writing, and I like to write, so I took journalism. Found out journalism is probably not what I should be doing in life, but it was an experience. So freshman me was very different from from senior me. Freshman me was an anxious, little wreck of a child, and I didn't know anything. I was in a completely new environment, new school, I was entering high school, that's a big deal for anyone, and I was taking this journalism class because I thought it'd be fun, and it was just writing. I didn't have a single clue that journalism had anything to do with newspaper or broadcasting or anything along those lines. I just heard journalism and I was okay, journal, writing, I like to journal. That's what I was thinking in my mind. Yeah, so I get to class, literally the first day or the first week or something, we got assigned articles that we had to write. Most of my classes were upperclassmen, so they were seniors mostly, and then there was 2% freshmen and 1 sophomore or something, and everyone else was it was pretty much 3 freshmen, 5 freshmen, 1 sophomore, 2 juniors, and the rest were seniors. So most people had already been at the school and were experienced. And then there's us. So first week of school comes around, we're assigned articles, and we have to cover. So our teacher just gives us the articles the first week of school. So we have to go on an interview. So interviews at this point were during class. A lot of teachers at my school really hate when people come in during their classes. I don't know why, because our classes are actually so long. My blocks aren't our class periods aren't 45 minutes or anything. Our class periods are an hour and a half. Literally every class period is an hour and a half. We have 4 classes a day. They're an hour and a half. Interviews take about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know why teachers can't pull out your student for literally 5 minutes. Anyways, but I went to this first teacher. Once again, I just got to high school. I don't know any of these teachers. Literally don't know anything. And I get freaking screamed at by this old, crusty math teacher, about you should not be coming in during my class. Why are you coming in during my class? Why can't you wait till the end of class? And literally, I was pretty much basically scarred for life. after I got screamed at, and so that was a thing. I'm pretty sure I cried or something. And then she ended up, like, later, I found out she ended up apologizing because my teacher one day out of the blue said, oh yeah, so Miss so-and-so wanted to apologize for someone yelling at someone who came in during her class. She didn't actually say me specifically because she didn't know, my name, obviously, but she was like this teacher that yelled at me, but she just made a general statement. So I kind of feel good that she apologized, but honestly, like, I was freaking terrified. Like, it was my first, imagine being the first, like, week of your high school experience, or, like, maybe, like, a first, like, day on the job, and then you just, like, get screamed at a freaking teacher, and she makes you cry, and, obviously, like, me, I'm a small bean. At this point, I was a small child. I was, like, 5 feet in freshman year. I had braces. I was just small, little. I was fragile, anxious wreck. Didn't even know what anxiety was. Like, there was just a lot going on. And then I got screamed at, cried. Honestly, journalism was so bad. Like, I cried so much during journalism because I hated talking to people. And I didn't know that journalism had to do with, like, interviewing and, like, talking to people. So that kind of sucked. But anyways, so I'll say all that to say that I'm in photojournalism this year, which is yearbook. And we have to do some interviews, but yearbook interviews are a lot different. And also, I know the teachers now, and I know when to go in and when not to go in. Because they, actually taught us that this year, but you kind of get it, like, understand more as you just get older and stuff and go through the different school years. But yeah, freshman year, like, I was just trying to do my job and, like, always getting screamed at by teachers. So that's a thing. I really don't understand, though, why teachers can't take out their kid for literally 5 minutes. Like, we have you for an hour and a freaking half. Why can't you leave for 5 minutes? Like, I trust you, Jimmy. Jimmy is not going to miss anything you had to say. And nothing you had to say probably was even that important. Or he couldn't get for anyone else. Couldn't get this information from anyone else. So it's really not that crucial. Anyways, teachers at my school kind of get on my nerves a little bit. Not all of them, just some specific ones. Yeah, so fun times, guys, fun times. But yeah, I like my yearbook group this year, my spread group, for this first spread. I think they're gonna periodically change, so you, like, work with different people. And it's also different that you, like, know the school better, so, like, yeah. Anyways, so that's that. And then I'm also taking a class called Environmental Science, which I took because I didn't want to take physics because I really hate math, and I'm not taking math this year because, hallelujah, praise Jesus. So, because I have all my math credits, so I'm not taking math this year, but I need one more science credit, so I'm taking environmental, and, yeah, so I'm taking it because I didn't want to do physics, because I didn't want to do any, sort of math, because I just hate math and don't want to see numbers, ever again. So environmental, basically, if you couldn't tell, it's about the environment, and, our first project is literally a bug project, where you have to collect, 10 bugs or something, and, put it in a box, not just, throw them in a box, but, have, these, fancy, bug displaying needles that you stick through dead bugs. Anyways, this is a whole thing. That's the main reason people don't don't do environmental, because it has a reputation of touching bugs. But literally, other than that, you don't really it's not hard. It's not math. It's a lot of it's common sense, and it's factual science. You have to memorize things as opposed to with chemistry, what I did last year, you had to know all this freaking math that was the pain in the, So, and doing environmental, I actually like it so far. I like my teacher. She does a lot of different activities. She's kind of an old woman. I personally thought I wasn't going to like her, but she's pretty nice. I like her so far. So, we haven't really done anything. But she seems to have different activities to get us to learn things. And, yeah, so I like how she, doesn't just sit up there and talk all day. She actually tells us stories. That's one thing I do like about old people. They tend to tell you stories. A lot of people, young people, teachers in general, don't tell stories. But I like how old people always, have these, cool, weird stories. But yeah, so she's told us a lot of interesting stories. Like once, this really had nothing to do with environmental science, but she's like kind of lives in the middle of nowhere. I don't really know why she drives so far to get to school, because to get to work. I mean, because like she doesn't like, because my school is not in the middle of nowhere, you know? Like our area is definitely very like suburban, and she like lives out in like the country, and I'm like, why would you drive that far to get to work? Anyways, but she was saying she lives out in the middle of nowhere, and she was like, oh, so she once saw this bear in her neighborhood, or no, she didn't see the bear, but like this bear left all these like, claw marks like on her truck, like imagine like fingernails on a chalkboard, but like all the way down her to the back of her truck. A bear like left his claw marks, and then he just started wandering around the neighborhood and like harassing people's like gardens and like messing up other people's like property. And then this black bear, the same bear, there's apparently a bear statue in her neighborhood. I don't know. And so the bear like broke off part of like the arm of the bear statue and just like kept it pushing. I'm like, okay, all right, you go bear, you go Glen Coco. So that's one story. I don't really have anything else to say about environmental. Oh, well, actually, this was, when was this? Oh, this is the day she gave us this bug project where I said you had to like get 10 dead bugs in a box. So like different types of bugs, not just 10 any bugs. So as she was explaining the project, she's like, okay guys, so like the most easiest way to kill a bug is to like put it in the freezer. Like literally just pick it up, put it in a plastic bag and put it in the freezer and suffocate it to death. And I'm like, okay, just casually just putting a bug in the freezer. And the way she said it was just funny. Just the concept of like someone just like putting a bug in a freezer and just like leaving it there to like suffocate for your friggin' bug project. I just like that concept a lot. Suffocating bugs. Anyways, I don't know how I'm gonna find these bugs. She's like, there's a lot of like dead bugs just like already just around. Like, you know, you don't even have to really like touch it. She says you don't really have to even touch bugs. Like you can get other people to get your bugs. You just need to turn in the project, you know? So yeah, I don't really know how I'm gonna find dead bugs because I don't like often search for dead bugs, but I'm guessing I'm gonna have to do that. So wish me luck, guys, to find 10 bugs. Actually, I have no idea how many bugs I'm supposed to get. There's like a whole like packet, but I haven't read it, so yeah. Anyways, other than that, environmental doesn't seem to be that bad. I definitely feel like I'm gonna like this better than physics because I just really didn't want to do math, so I'm really glad I kind of like skirted out of that. So yeah. I'm then trying to think if there's any other like stories that have happened so far. I don't think so. So I mean, school's been pretty chill lately. It's just school. So I think I'm gonna take a break, and because I'm obviously running out of things to say, maybe think about some other things to say and how I want to end up this podcast. And I'll see you guys in like 5 seconds. Okay, we're back. I honestly think I'm only gonna make this like about 45 minutes. Okay, that's probably pushing it. I don't know how long this podcast is gonna be. Because I'm running out of stuff to say. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't make a plan. I was just like, let's talk about school. Okay, why can't I speak? Like, honestly, beyond me. The longer I've been making these podcasts, I feel like the more I can't. Like, I start talking so fast, and I can't even say words. I'm gonna try to stop saying less words, or talking slower, so I don't have to take up so much time. I remember hearing, and I dropped my shoe, by the way. That was my shoe. Anyways, okay, so, I remember hearing in a video where it's like, someone's mom told them, well, if you didn't talk so fast, then you wouldn't have to say so much. So, this is Little Simsy, if you guys know her. She is like these speed builds on YouTube. Okay, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, but anyways, there's this channel, this girl, like, she like commentates over these videos, these like sped up videos, and like talks. And she was like, my mom always says, if you would talk, or if you wouldn't talk so fast, you would have to say less to fill up the space. So I'm gonna try to do some of that. Anyways, I just get really into some conversations and I just start stumbling over my words. But I remember a couple days ago, or like last week, I say a couple days ago, last week, like my first week of school, they literally came up to the seniors and they were like, okay guys, so you guys owe us $125. Here's your senior dues. We need it by like 2 weeks. Good luck. Bye. So literally they came up to us randomly. Like I had no recollection or no notice that we were going to be getting these random like these random like bills basically. Like they were like, guys, you owe the school $125. And they're like, it's like on the list of stuff it pays for. It's like cap and gown, which is obviously important. And it's like other random stuff, like you get a shirt, a senior shirt for the fall, a senior shirt for the spring. You guys pay for homecoming decorations. I'm like, hold up, why am I paying for homecoming decorations? Like, okay, like and like a bunch of other random stuff that it's like, why do I owe you this money? I actually don't understand. So, you know, my school's robbing me. Clickbait, not clickbait, title. I actually don't know what I'm going to call this podcast. My school's robbing me. High school makes you bankrupt. I went bankrupt because of high school. My high school bankrupts me. What should I call this? I don't know what to call this. I don't know. Here's just some very, very clickbaity titles. My high school bankrupted me of my happiness. Ooh, that's deep. Okay. Yeah. So that's great. Gotta pay $125. Literally gave us 2 weeks notice. Alright guys, we need this money in 2 weeks. Good luck. Go. So yeah. Another thing I was gonna talk about, it just left my mind. Okay, so talked about senior dues. Also about senior dues, I don't know why I can't just pay for my cap and gown and then not pay for everything else. Like, I really don't pay for homecoming decorations. Like, why do we actually have to do that? I don't understand. Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. So, college application process, that's coming up soon. And it's really weird. Like, I literally, like, a few, like, minutes ago, I just emailed, I say a few minutes ago, it's been like an hour since then. But I emailed, like, my first teacher that I want to ask for a college recommendation, and like the whole college application process, like I literally don't know how it works. And like obviously, like I know it's like you have to do like an essay, and like, you know, most colleges do the Common App, but it's like, what is the Common App? Like, is there an essay that goes with the Common App? Like, what do you fill out other than like your basic information? I know some schools have specific application like routes. I don't know, it's just weird to like think about where I want to go for the rest of my life and how I want to spend the rest of my days. Not the rest of my days, but it's been a process deciding, because I still don't know where I want to go at all. And then also a lot of the schools I like, because I think I really just prefer a smaller environment, but I don't necessarily think I'm gonna have that. A lot of the schools that I like that are smaller just happen to be private schools, and a lot of the private schools I like require like a minimum SAT score, ACT score, that I don't have, and I don't know if I'll actually ever have. Literally have taken SAT twice. I'm taking it again. My score went up 10 points, and it's nowhere near the minimum to get into one of the schools that is like closest to me. So yeah, we'll see. And then there's another school. My school has a lot of really great colleges and universities. I'm very grateful about that. But the only thing is, like, some of, like, the big name ones that are, like, I have a lot of big name schools in my state, and, like, a lot of them are, like, I don't know, they're just, like, I don't really see myself at. So even though it would save me money, it's just, like, or my parents' money, it was just, you know, like, God bless them. It's just, like, I don't want to be at somewhere I hate and, like, save a lot of money, but then be somewhere I really love and like be broke. And it's like sucks that like education has to be such a sacrifice, and you literally pay student loans for like the majority of your life. That freaking scares me right there, especially the schools I'm looking at with the tuition. Like, I don't know how they expect Like, how does the government put you in a system where you have to pay literally like it can be up to billions of dollars, like in the long grand scheme of things, if you go like for a 4-year degree out of school, all the expenses, I can definitely see that being over like $1 billion, depending where you go for tuition. Because some of these tuitions are like crazy high, especially out of state, and like I just don't understand how they expect people to like pay this back. Like why does education have to be a freaking sacrifice for people? Like that doesn't make any sense. I just hate that. I want to make an episode about education. That reminds me. That's on my list of like podcast episodes to like make. So yeah. But yeah, I just think it's weird to ask for recommendation. I just sent one of my emails today. I want to try to get 2 teacher recommendations, and I'm just having a struggle finding another teacher because I literally don't talk to my teachers. I know that's terrible, but like I just don't talk in school. I just hate school, and I just like try to become as least involved as possible and just, you know, do things that I actually like doing. I mean, this sounds terrible, but like I like to do things that I like doing, but I don't know any teachers. Like I just don't talk to teachers because at the beginning of my high school career, like I didn't talk to anyone. Like I was just a completely different, quiet, shy, like I just didn't speak, and that was just how I was. And I only started trying to break out of that like recently, like last year, which doesn't help because I need applications now, you know? So like I don't know how colleges expect you to have so much figured out in like such little time. Like you are literally just becoming like a young adult, and they expect you to like have all your life goals. Like all right guys, so where do you want to go? How do you want to spend your life? You know, like you need to do X, Y, and Z. You need to be at this point in your life. You need to be prepared to go away to school. And it's just like weird. Like I started thinking about what if I did like a gap year? What if I did community college for my associates and then transferred and save a heck of a lot of money and still get like all my gen eds out the way, you know? I want to pursue something in film, and so like most schools, you don't even start doing film until like your junior and senior year anyways, so it's like that's the thing. But then on the other hand, like on the contrary, freshman like life, like campus life, is something you'll never get back. So you only do that once. And also all of your friends, like everyone I talk to says a lot of times your lifetime friends will be from college, because you can be more selective about who you talk to and like who is in your circle. And then I also don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that it's less cliquish in college. Like people definitely accumulate to specific groups in college. Like I've heard that, you know, like you have to come out of your circle if you want to be less cliquish, you know, like if you're of one ethnicity, like if you're black, don't talk to all the black people. If you're Asian, don't just talk to all the Asian people. Like you have to actually go out of your circle for that to be less cliquish. But like, you know, I feel like in high school, it's very like defined who the groups are and who you talk to. And in college, I feel like since everyone's like a freshman again and a tiny, like, you're starting from the bottom, quite literally, like you have to make friends and like find your place and find your voice and things like that. So I like that about college, and I like the idea of freshman life. I just don't want to go friggin' broke to get an education and to enjoy life, you know? I don't want to have to pay my student loans for the rest of like until I'm like literally 70, you know? It's just crazy. And I know financial aid's a thing, but not everyone's eligible for financial aid, and I don't know. We'll see. I actually really don't know a lot about money or finances, honestly. I actually have like a college seminar I'm going to soon where I'm going to learn about more college stuff and be more educated. Right now I'm just trying to figure out what schools I want to apply to. I have a short list, but honestly, I feel like some of them that I've been thinking about, I might not be the right fit for me, and that just scares me. And it's hard because like you know, like I really want to, a part of me really wants to be at the right school, but then I also at the same time have to think about how God has a plan and a timing for everything, and that God is going to make you end up wherever you need to be at that right timing. And I need to trust in God's plan and where He wants me to be, and not where I think is right for me. And that is so hard, you guys. I'm sorry. Like, I've just been so focused on myself lately. Like, I haven't really been caring about God or like anything spiritual recently, and it's been really bad, and I needed to get back to that. And I know he's the only one that's gonna have me end up where I'm supposed to be and where I can serve him and do my purpose, do God's will for me, for my life, is if I trust him and ask him where I'm supposed to go. So, and that doesn't always necessarily mean you have to go to a religious college if like you're a spiritual person and you believe in God and like his plan. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be at a Christian school, you know, quote unquote, but like you can still fulfill God's purpose wherever he's placed you, because obviously he's placed you there, so you're meant to be there. So it's gonna be interesting. The college application process is going to be something. I think I'm less scared for the application, but more so for the choosing where, like, after I get in, like, hopefully I get into some schools that I like and like feel good about my choices. It's just the choosing, I feel like it's the most anxious, because it's like, this is going to shape like my entry years to adulthood. Like, my very beginning stages of being a young adult are going to be shaped by this environment that I choose. And obviously you can transfer and stuff like that, but you know, if you kind of can avoid that, you know, that's kind of preferable. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Definitely probably do some more college updates and things like that in the future. And I think I'm honestly gonna wrap up this episode. So I hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast. After I started talking slower, I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot more like said in a shorter amount or in a longer amount of time. So hey, if you slow down, if you wouldn't talk so fast, you wouldn't have to say so much. I like that quote. All right, that's going on the wall. So thank you guys so much for watching this podcast episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe wherever you're watching. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, or Google or Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called, the Google Play Store, YouTube. Yeah, so that's where we are if you want to listen to the podcast. We also have a Twitter page called PassionFruit Pod, right? Yeah, PassionFruit Pod. The O in pod is a 0. I post a tweet as soon as new episodes go up, so if you want notifications, it's probably the easiest way to get notifications for this podcast, unless you have them set on your app or, you know, whatnot. I also have a email called thepassionfruitpodcast@gmail.com. Please email if you have any suggestions or feedback. I really want to hear your guys' feedback if you have any that you would like to share. I like hearing feedback and just reading messages and all sorts of things like that. So that's there as well. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you guys next week. Bye, you guys.